descent from Genghis Khan. Mongolian, Altan urag, meaning golden lineage, generally called Genghisids, is traceable primarily in Central Asia, Mongolia, Inner Mongolia and China, and Siberia. His four sons and other immediate descendants are famous by names and by deeds. Later Asian potentates attempted to claim descent from the Borjigin even on flimsy grounds, such as was considered Mongol matrilineal descent. In the 14th century, valid sources, heavily dependent on Rashid-al-Din Hamadani and other Muslim historians, all but dried up. With the recent popularity of genealogical DNA testing, a larger and broader circle of people started to claim descent from Genghis Khan. Paternity of Jochi. Jochi, Genghis Khan's eldest son, had many more recorded progeny than his brothers Ogedei, Chagatai, and Tolui, but there is some doubt over his paternity. According to the Secret History of the Mongols, the boy was sent to Genghis by Chilga, who had kidnapped his first wife Bort, keeping her in captivity for about a year. In one passage, Chagatai refers to Jochi as bastard, although the true meaning of the Mongol term is obscure. To this, Genghis Khan responds, "How dare you talk about Jochi like this? Is not he the eldest of my heirs? That I never heard such wicked words again." Quote, 255. All in all, Genghis Khan pronounces the words Jochi as my eldest son thrice. 210, 242, 254. Modern historians speculate that Jochi's disputed paternity was the reason for his eventual estrangement from his father and for the fact that his descendants never succeeded to the imperial throne. On the other hand, Genghis always treated Jochi as his first son, while the failure of the Jochid succession may be explained by Jochi's premature death, which may have excluded his progeny from succession. Another important consideration is that Genghis' descendants intermarried frequently. For instance, the Jochids took wives from the Алтан dynasty of Persia, whose progenitor was Hulagu Khan. As a consequence, it is likely that many Jochids had other sons of Genghis Khan among their maternal ancestors. Asian dynasties. Asian dynasties descended from Genghis Khan included the Kublaids of China, the Hulaguids of Persia, the Jochids of the Golden Horde, the Shaybanids of Siberia, and the Astrakhanids of Central Asia. As a rule, the Genghisid descent played a crucial role in Tatar politics. For instance, Mamai, 1335–1380, had to exercise his authority through a succession of puppet Khans but could not assume the title of Khan himself because he lacked Genghisid lineage. Timur Lenk, 1336–1405, the founder of the Timurid dynasty, claimed descent from Genghis Khan. However, this claim remains questionable. There is no clear evidence for his own descent. He associated himself with the family of Chagatai Khan through marriage. He also never assumed the title Khan for himself, but employed two members of the Chagatai clan as formal heads of state. The Mughal imperial family of the Indian subcontinent descended from Timur through Babur and also from Genghis Khan, through his son Chagatai Khan. The ruling Wang clan of the Korean Goryeo dynasty became descendants of the Genghisids through the marriage between King Chung Yeol, reigned 1274–1308, and a daughter of Kublai Khan. All subsequent rulers of Korea for the next 80 years, until King Gongmin, also married Borjigin princesses. But since all Mongol Imjeks were females, no Y haplotype entered the Korean royal noble families during this period. Only matrilineal mtDNA. At a later period, Tatar potentates of Genghisid stock included the Khans of Kazan and Kashim, notably a Russian Tsar, Simeon Bekbulatevich, formerly Grand Prince of all Rus from 1575 to 1576, died 1616, and the Duray dynasty, which ruled the Khanate of Crimea until 1783. As the Russian Empire annexed Turkish polities, the Genghisid rulers frequently entered the Russian service. For instance, Kuchum's descendants became Russified as the Tsarevich of Siberia. Descendants of Ablai Khan assumed in Russia the name of Princes Valakhanov. All these families asserted their Genghisid lineage. The only extant family of this group is the House of Duray, whose members left Soviet Russia for the United States and United Kingdom. Even more a Russian Tsar Simeon Bekbulatevich, as a grandson of Ahmed Khan bin Kuchuk, was a descendant of Genghis Khan. The king of China completely exterminated one branch, Ligdan Khan's descendants, of the Borjigids after an anti-king revolt in 1675 by Ojai Khan's brother Abunai and Abunai's son, Borni, against the king. The king-emperors then placed the Chahar Mongols under their direct rule. Eastern European gateways. After the Mongol invasion of Rus, the Rurik dynasty rulers of Russian principalities were eager to obtain political advantages for themselves and their countries by marrying into the house of Genghis. Alexander Nevsky was adopted by Batu Khan as his son. Alexander's grandson Yuri of Moscow married a sister of Ozbeg Khan. However, they had no progeny. On the other hand, petty Mongol princelings of Genghisid stock sometimes settled in Russia. For instance, Berk's nephew adopted the Christian name Peter and founded St. Peter's Monastery in Rostov, where his descendants were long prominent as boyars. Crimean Khanate Khan Menlai Duray was the maternal grandfather of Suleiman the Magnificent through his daughter, Aisha Hafsa Sultan. Thereafter, the Ottoman dynasty could also claim descent from Genghis Khan through his son Jochi. The issue of 3 Russian-Mongol marriages may be traced down to the present. The most famous was the marriage of Saint Fyodor the Black, later proclaimed a patron saint of Yaroslavl, to a daughter of the Mongol Khan Mengu Timur. Fyodor's relations with the Khan were idyllic. He spent more time in the horde, where he was given extensive possessions, than in his capital. Male-line descendants of Fyodor's marriage to the Tatar princess include all the later rulers of Yaroslavl and 24 princely families, such as the Shakovskoy, Lvov, or Prozorovsky, among others, which passed Genghis genes to other aristocratic families of Russia. Gleb, Prince of Beluzero, a grandson of Constantine of Rostov, was another Rurikid prince influential at the Mongol court. Gleb married the only daughter of Sartak Khan. From this marriage descends the House of Belozisk, whose scions include Dmitry Ukhtomsky and Beloselsky-Belozisky family. The most problematic is the marriage of Narimantas, the second son of Gediminas of Lithuania, to Tota's daughter. The earliest source for this marriage is the Jagiellonian genealogy, compiled in the 18th century from Ruthenian chronicles by one Johann Werner. While the marriage is not utterly impossible, Narimont spent several years in the horde. There are no extant chronicles which mention Narimont's wife. This highly uncertain gateway derives particular interest from the fact that the House of Golitsyn, Korvinsky and Kurakin princely families are Narimont's agnatic descendants. Basaraba, the Genghisid descent of the Russian Tsars or kings of Georgia, cannot be reconstructed from extant documentary evidence. The possibility of such a descent for Western European royalty is even less realistic. The most popular route is based on the House of Basaraba of Wallachia, which today forms southern Romania. The first attested ancestor of the Basarab princes was a boyar, Thocomerius. There are several theories as to his origin. The most popular theory is that he was of Cuman extraction, as noted by the researcher Istvan Vasari. Teocutomia, Homir. There were a significant number of Cumans in the region in his time. Also, a major fact such as being descended from Genghis Khan would have unlikely been hidden, and would have rather been exploited. Some genealogists identify Thocomerius with a Bulgarian boyar named Tikhamir, from the Slavic roots for calm and peace. Some descendants of the Basarabs moved to neighboring Hungary, and it has been quite convincingly argued that Countess Claudine Redi von Kiss Rhe acute de, great-great-grandmother of Queen Elizabeth II, is a descendant of the Basarab rulers. DNA evidence. Numerous studies by teams of biochemists, based on the Y-DNA of modern descendants of Genghis Khan, have indicated that Genghis Khan may have belonged to a subclade of haplogroup CM217, C2, such as CF4002, C2b1a3. Proponents of the theory regarding CM217 have put forward hypothetical Y-DNA profiles, such as a 25-marker Genghis Khan profile released by Family Tree DNA. Zergel al. 2003 identified a Y chromosomal lineage present in about 8% of the men in a large region of Asia, about 0.5% of the world total. The paper suggests that the pattern of variation within the lineage is consistent with a hypothesis that it originated in Mongolia about 1,000 years ago, and thus several generations prior to the birth of Genghis. Such a spread would be too rapid to have occurred by genetic drift, and must therefore be the result of selection. The authors propose that the lineage is carried by likely male line descendants of Genghis Khan and his close male relatives, and that it has spread through social selection due to the power that Genghis Khan and his direct descendants held in a society which allowed one man to have many children through having multiple wives and widespread rape in conquered cities. All male line descendants of Genghis Khan were all allowed to have numerous wives. However, research published in 2016 suggested that Genghis possibly belonged to the haplogroup RM343 R1b. The controversial result was based on analysis of 5 bodies, dating from about 1130 to 1250, which were found in graves in Tavan Tolgoi, Mongolia. The physical remains. All of the 5 bodies belong to the Mongoloid physical type. The remains are believed to be possibly related with the members of the Mongol golden family at around the time of Genghis Khan, although it is unsure if the Y-DNA haplogroup marker belonged to the Borjigin clan or the products of clan marriages between the female lineage of Genghis Khan's Borjigin clan and with males of other clans, tribes from Mongolia or Central Asia origin. Later descendants. Akhtar Bat-Dorjan Basanjab, also known as Barsen, is Genghis Khan's descendant through the Chagatai lineage. He is well known for his portrayals of his ancestors and distant relatives in films and television series, including Genghis Khan himself, his father Yeshugay, his son Ogad Khan, and his grandsons Monkey Khan and Kublai Khan. Popular culture. In The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the motorway contractor Mr. Prosser is, unknown to himself, a direct patrilineal descendant of Genghis Khan. This manifests itself in a predilection for fur hats, a desire to have axes hanging above his front door, being slightly overweight, and occasional visions of screaming Mongol hordes. Fictional character Shirwan Khan, who is described as the last living descendant of Genghis, appears in The Shadow, a collection of serialized dramas, originally on 1930s radio. He also appeared in the 1994 film adaptation, The Shadow. Marvel Comics supervillains the Mandarin and his son Temujin, both primarily opponents of Iron Man, are descendants of Genghis Khan. See also: Descent from antiquity, Descent from Charlemagne. Descent from Muhammad. Hazara people. Famous haplogroup members. Borjigin. Azanjoro. Chingashid. Duray dynasty. Shaibanid. Chagatai Khanate. Ilkhanids. Further reading. Chapin, David. 2012. Long lines. 10 of the world's longest continuous family lineages. College Station, Texas. Virtual Bookworm. Com. ISBN 978160264-933-0.